Welcome to the Deep Dive. So glad you're joining us today. We're going to embark on a really fascinating journey into the latest in the tech landscape. We're digging into the very latest Tech Control Alt-Read newsletter. This is edition #12, which just came out yesterday, June 21st, 2025. And our mission today is to really unearth the most important nuggets of knowledge from this source. We're putting a big spotlight on a truly groundbreaking development from Meta.
Yeah, we're talking about Meta's colossal $15 billion AI superintelligence initiative that includes a massive investment in scale AI. This isn't just, another headline. It feels like a seismic shift. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Meta is committing a, frankly, mind-boggling $15 billion to push forward artificial superintelligence. And what's really catching everyone's eye is the significant stake they're taking in scale AI. This values scale AI at over $13 billion.
Mm-hmm. And what's truly fascinating here is understanding scale AI's role in all this. It's led by Alexander Wang, who's, get this, only 28 years old. And his company provides absolutely critical data labeling services. It's the meticulous, often unseen work that actually fuels these massive AI models.
Well, like teaching the AI what it's actually seeing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without properly labeled data, these models just can't learn effectively. It's like the foundational plumbing for building intelligence. You need that structure. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, Meta's investment is highly strategic. It shows they're not just trying to build everything themselves. They're tapping into companies already leading in these fundamental areas like data prep. It really reinforces how pivotal data annotation and model refinement are. It's not just about the algorithm.
So it's a loud signal then about the push towards what, AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Precisely. The industry is getting serious about AGI, and they know raw compute power isn't the whole story. You absolutely need that pristine, well-structured data.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, it's a clear flag pointing towards where the bleeding edge of AI development is really heading. Just underscores why that foundational data infrastructure, the sort of unsung hero, is just as vital as the flashy models themselves, maybe even more so.
That's where the race really begins.
Okay, so beyond Meta's huge play, the newsletter highlighted a whole flurry of other significant money moves. Startups, VCs, corporate strategy.
Yeah.
It paints a really dynamic picture.
Yeah, on the startup funding side, Mira Murati's Thinking Machines Lab just raised a massive $2 billion. That vaults its valuation to $10 billion. Incredible speed.
Wow, $10 billion. That's huge market confidence right there.
Definitely. And speaking of big valuations, Canva, the design tool lots of us use, they're exploring a share sale at a $37 billion valuation.
$37 billion.
And what's really interesting, this is apparently driven by substantial cash flow. It signals maybe a bit of a shift, right? Investors looking at actual profitability, not just growth potential. That's a great point. It does feel like a maturing market in some ways. We're also seeing innovation tackling, really tangible problems like Cardinal Robotics, an AI cleaning robot startup. They got $800 million in funding.
$800 million for cleaning robots.
Yeah, but their model is smart machines on affordable monthly subscriptions. It shows AI moving into practical, accessible solutions for, well, everyday stuff.
That makes sense. And it's not just the giant rounds, right?
No, exactly. Even in niche areas like observability, helping companies monitor their software systems. CoreLogic's hit unicorn status, and they're expanding into India. Huge demand there.
Okay, and then there's the M&A side, acquisitions and corporate strategy. Some really interesting moves there too, like this solo-founded AI code startup, Base44, only 6 months old, acquired by Wix for $80 million. Cash.
6 months. 80 million. That's incredible.
It really shows how fast specialized AI talent can create value and just get snapped up in this red-hot market. Speed is everything.
Precisely. And that ties straight into the fierce talent war happening in AI right now. The newsletter mentioned Meta trying to hire the CEO of Ilya Sutskever's new AI firm.
Right after their $32 billion bid was turned down.
Exactly. It shows how desperate companies are for the top AI minds. It's not just about buying tech, it's about acquiring the leadership, the vision. Human capital is king.
Like Character.ai, bringing in Meta's former VP of business products as their new CEO. Another big talent grab.
It's a battleground for talent as much as it is for innovation itself.
That's a powerful point. So all this money moving around, all this strategy, what's actually, emerging? What new tech are we seeing? Let's pivot to the actual innovations in AI and apps. Okay, AI tech first. OpenAI is always making news. They're apparently seeking new financial concessions from Microsoft, maybe better terms, and they launched a discounted ChatGPT, making it more accessible, I guess.
Seems like it broadened the user base.
What I found really fascinating, though, was this discovery of distinct personas within AI models. That could lead to some seriously personalized AI interactions down the line.
Customizable AI personalities. Interesting. And potentially tricky.
Right. And on that note, the OpenAI files are pushing for more oversight in the AGI race. Seems like there's a growing awareness internally about the power they're building.
Which is probably healthy, but it's not just OpenAI, right? AI is getting woven into everything. Look at Amazon using AI in shopping.
For better recommendations in search.
Exactly. Enhancing the customer experience, protecting their dominance. But it's also disrupting older industries. This Sequoia-backed company, Crosby, launched an AI-powered law firm.
An AI law firm, wow.
Yeah, aiming to make legal services more accessible, maybe more efficient through AI. And look at Google's AI mode, supporting seamless voice conversations now, making it feel much more natural.
Almost like talking to a person.
Getting closer.
And this AI integration, it's going beyond just software, isn't it?
Yeah.
Meta, again, they unveiled Oakley-branded AI smart glasses.
A wearable AI.
And they're partnering with Prada, too, on smart eyewear.
Yeah.
It feels like a big push to blend fashion and function, make AI sort of invisible in daily life.
Right, embedding it right into things we already use.
And speaking of Meta, huge content shift. They announced all videos on their platform will become Reels soon. That's a massive play for the short-form video space.
Absolutely, competing hard with TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So what's clear from all this is just how pervasive AI is becoming. Consumer products, enterprise solutions, fashion, legal services. The lines are blurring.
It's everywhere.
Tech giants are diversifying AI applications, focusing on user experience, changing how we even consume content, like with Reels. It really raises the question, how soon until AI is just expected everywhere?
Until we don't even call it AI anymore.
Exactly. It just becomes the underlying fabric.
Okay, but none of this amazing tech, none of these apps work without the foundations, right? The infrastructure. Let's talk cloud security hardware. And we got a stark reminder about cloud reliability recently. Google Cloud had that major global outage, June 12th to 16th, disrupted services everywhere.
Ouch. Yeah, that shows even the biggest players aren't immune. Infrastructure is complex.
But on the flip side, huge investments are still happening. AWS announced $233 million just to expand AI infrastructure across Asia-Pacific. Big focus on India.
That's a major commitment to build out, especially for AI capacity globally.
And Microsoft's boosting data protection, new compliance features specifically for European cloud customers, addressing those privacy concerns proactively.
Which leads right into security. It's paramount. Because the threats, well, they don't stop. AWS unveiled new security tools at Reinforce, like AI-powered threat detection, trying to stay ahead.
But the breaches keep happening. The newsletter mentioned Zoomcar, 8.4 million users affected, and WestJet Airlines confirmed hackers got into internal systems.
Right. And that IBM QDAR flaw, exposing systems to remote command execution, that's serious. It shows even the tools meant to protect us can have vulnerabilities. It's a constant arms race.
Absolutely. Okay, finally, let's touch on hardware, semiconductors, the chip industry, the real guts of all this tech. AMD and Mimic are partnering on agentic AI solutions. That's AI that can act more autonomously, right? Boosting edge computing.
Yeah, more processing power closer to where data is generated, less reliance on sending everything to the cloud.
And this was interesting. NVIDIA, the chip giant, investing in nuclear power. Bill Gates-backed TerraPower.
It's about powering all this AI. Clean energy is becoming critical for the massive data centers AI requires. A fascinating convergence.
And Finland activating the world's largest sand battery. More sustainable energy storage innovation.
Lots happening in energy tech to support the digital world.
So what's the big picture here with infrastructure?
Well, it just underlines the fundamental challenges and, frankly, the colossal investments needed. Robust cloud is critical but vulnerable. Security is a constant battle. We need next-gen chips. We need sustainable power. And then you see Texas Instruments making that historic $60 billion investment in 7 new semiconductor plants. That's a monumental bet on bringing chip manufacturing capacity, likely more domestically focused, too. It's all interconnected.
Okay, almost there. To wrap up our deep dive into the Tech Ctrl+Alt+Read newsletter, let's quickly hit Fintech, some key events, and maybe some podcasts worth checking out. In Fintech, there's Multiplier, founded by an ex-Stripe exec. They raised $27.5 million for AI-powered accounting roll-ups.
Roll-ups, so buying smaller firms and boosting them with AI.
Exactly. Creating bigger, maybe more efficient entities. But the really big fintech buzz was around X.
Ah, yes, the everything app ambitions.
Code revealed an upcoming physical card for X Money users. And CEO Yaccarino announced plans for trading services, too.
Wow. That's a major move towards being a full financial platform, competing directly with banks and brokerage apps.
Huge. And speaking of huge money, SoftBank unveiled a $1 trillion funding facility. $1 trillion.
To accelerate AI and robotics innovation worldwide, the scale of ambition in this space is just hard to comprehend sometimes.
It really is. Okay, for those of you wanting to track this stuff live, the newsletter mentioned events like InfoComm 2025, AWS Reinforce TNW Conference. Great places for direct insights.
Definitely worth following if you're in the industry.
And for more deep dives like this, the newsletter highlighted a couple of podcasts. This Week in Startups had an episode on Meta's AI land grab, and the Y Combinator podcast featured Sam Altman talking OpenAI origins.
Good recommendations. Lots of great content out there to keep learning.
Absolutely. Okay, before we wrap, let's give you our tech tip of the week. A practical nugget. If you use Google Chrome and find it sluggish sometimes, try this. Go to chrome.flags in the address bar, then search for automatic tab discarding. Find that setting and toggle it to enabled.
Right. And why this works is pretty neat. It basically tells Chrome to pause background tabs you haven't looked at in a while. Those pause tabs stop using up your computer's memory, your RAM. So it frees up resources, making everything feel, well, snappier.
Especially if you're like me and have way too many tabs open all the time.
Exactly. It's a simple tweak, but it can make a real difference to your daily browsing experience. No new hardware needed.
Great tip. Okay, wow. What an incredible amount of ground we covered today, all stemming from that one Tech Ctrl+Alt+Read newsletter. We really zoomed in on Meta's huge $15 billion AI initiative and that scale AI investment. That felt like the core theme, didn't it? This aggressive push into AI.
Absolutely. And we saw how that theme ripples out everywhere, impacting startups, M&A, the apps we use, the cloud, the chips. It's all being reshaped by this AI focus.
The pace is just relentless.
It really is. And, this raises an important question, maybe a final thought for everyone listening. The speed of this investment, this development, especially towards superintelligence, it means tech isn't just changing, it's accelerating into a fundamentally new era. It forces us to think beyond just what's new today. We need to consider how these seismic shifts are going to reshape entire industries, jobs, maybe even daily life very, very soon. It demands constant attention and maybe some critical thinking about where it's all headed.
That's a perfect place to leave it. Lots to think about. What aspect of today's deep dive resonated most with you? Which of these developments will you be watching closely? Keep exploring those questions. Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive today. We hope you feel a bit more informed and ready for what's next in tech. Until next time, keep learning.